Namo Buddhaya and welcome to the Buddha Dharma TV Saturday program. I am Lisa Chu. Today we will start with a Dharma talk, a song, followed by a Jataka tale. The Dharma talk today is by Dr. Venerable K. Sri Davananda Nayaka Mahathero. The Most Venerable Dr. K. Sri Davananda Naya Mahathero was born in Sri Lanka and spent most of his life and spiritual missions in Malaysia. He entered the monastic life as a novice monk, Samanera, at the age of 12 and received full ordination in 1940. In 1952, he arrived in Malaya, now known as Malaysia, and soon became one of the most respected Theravada Buddhist monks in the region. He was eventually appointed as the chief high priest of the Buddhists in Malaysia. His spiritual influence also extended to the Buddhist community in Singapore. The Most Venerable Dr. K. Sri Dhammananda was a distinguished writer and a renowned Buddhist preacher, highly regarded for his wisdom, clarity, and compassion. At the time of his passing, he was serving as the chief monk of the Buddhist Mahavihara in Brickfields, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Here is the Most Venerable Dr. K. Sri Dhammananda Nayaka Mahathero speaking on a profound and inspiring topic. Where is Buddha? This is the part 1, and the second part will be at the same time tomorrow on Sunday on the Buddha Dharma TV at 9 p.m.
So this morning, I would like to talk something that it is very difficult for you to understand and difficult to answer if anybody asks this question. But is that, where is the Buddha today? Where did he go? Is there anybody who can answer this question? Because we consider in worldly way of life. That is why it is difficult for us to answer. And the other religions, they try to introduce the God. God is living. God can bless you, protect you, send you to heaven. So God is living. When they approach the Buddhists, they say, the Buddha is not a God. He was a man. He is dead and gone. What do you gain by worshipping and praying and offering? Also, Buddhists do not know how to answer this question. This concept of God actually created by the human mind. One professor in America, he has written, first, man created the God. Later, they started to tell God creates the man. What is the meaning of this? Scientists say it has taken millions of years for us to develop our mind, our understanding. So, when our mind is developing and developing and developing, we came to know there are some sort of energies that we cannot understand. Then they had to think there must be a person to create, to maintain these energies. That is how they have personified or introduced as a figure all these energies. So it is a concept created by the human mind. It is important for our human mind because we have no confidence. Always we have fear, worries, suspicion, insecurity. Therefore we need somebody to depend on. Therefore people are very keen to believe in God, to depend on them for their protection, for their salvation. From the Buddhist point of view, when we analyze, the Buddha never introduced him as a son of God or messenger of God, but as an enlightened person. Buddha was not an incarnation of another Buddha. According to Hinduism, all those who appeared are the incarnations of the same God. Buddha is not created by another Buddha. So Buddha is not the reincarnation of another Buddha. Individual person, by working such a long period, life after life, by developing, cultivating all the great qualities, virtues, paramitas, perfection, when he developed up to the maximum level, he gained enlightenment. Then people ask, how do we gain enlightenment? There must be somebody to give our enlightenment. These are the things that people cannot understand. Individually, we develop our mind to understand things. I have mentioned the meaning of the word that we always use, why we are called Manushya. In many languages, they use this word, human being. Why we are called Manushya? Mana means mind. Manushya means one who can develop, cultivate the mind up to maximum level. There is no another living being in this universe who can develop the mind up to that extent to gain enlightenment. God cannot become a Buddha. Brahma or divine beings cannot become the Buddha because they do not develop their enlightenment. They have worldly, sensual, peaceful, prosperous life. But enlightenment is very poor. Only Manushya, only human being can become the Buddha or enlightenment. When people say Buddha is not a god, he is a man, we should not try to show, no, he is a god. Real validity of the enlightenment we reduce if we try to introduce the Buddha as a god. Again, those who talk about God, there is nobody in this world who has seen the God. That is concept. They say God has given a message to humanity. If it is for the whole human beings in this world, why the God wanted to hide and come and reveal only to one man? What is the difficulty for him to appear and announce, this is for you? Then everybody accepts. Always they say, God revealed secretly, and they come and announce, God says like this. So after creating concept and belief and understanding according to their way of thinking at that time, they have written all the holy books, saying God has given this message. Today, scientists discard and show the disagreement, conflicts, clashes between the scientific discoveries and what is written in the holy book. Because scientists have developed their mind without depending on God, without depending on religion, by using their independent intelligence. Therefore, we cannot say that they are wrong. They have enough evidence to prove. But in religion, we had to believe. Whether we can understand or not, we had to believe. The Buddha did not encourage anybody to believe anything. I remember one day a Christian priest came here with his followers to discuss about Buddhism. In the end, he asked, actually, can you tell me what Buddhists believe? Then I told him, tell you very frankly, Buddhists do not believe anything. He got a shock. He has seen my book that I have written, What Buddhists Believe. Then he asked, why did you write this book? That is why I wrote this book. You can read whether there is anything for you to believe. Nothing. Then he asked, then can you tell me what they are doing? Very good. Buddha has given the answer. Buddha has advised us what to do instead of believing. Pariyatti, patipatti, pativeda. There are three things. First, we must try to understand, not to believe. You can believe anything that you can understand. You do not know whether true or not. The Buddha says, we must try to understand. Now you are here to understand, to learn something. That is the first item, learning. Try to understand. In his teaching, in the Eight Noble Path, the first item, Sammaditthi, right understanding. So Buddha started his mission with right understanding, not with belief. Then, after learning, we have wonderful knowledge about Buddha and Buddhism. If we keep quiet, there is no meaning. We had to practice what we have learned, because he has pointed out, these are the things that you have to do, these are the things that you should do, these are the morals and immorals and useful and useless things. Then now we understood. Otherwise, we create our own imagination. All over the world, people maintain their own imagination. So his advice was to practice what you have learned. After practicing, you experience the result or the effect. Then you come to know, oh yes, that is true, these are the things that we should not do, these are the things that we must do, this is the way we have to live in this world, this is the way how to get rid of our suffering through understanding. Now you can understand the Buddha's way of introducing religion is not for us to believe anything, but to learn and understand, practice, experience. Take for instance, he says, you must be kind, you must be honest. You learn. After learning, you tried to practice. You are very kind, you are very honest. Everybody respects you when they come to know you are very kind, very honest. Nobody wants to disturb you, accuse you, blame you, but respect you. That is the good result you experience. On the other hand, the Buddha says, according to your own experience, you can understand why these things are wrong, why these things are right. Not because the order, the commandment, religious laws given by the Buddha or God or anybody, you also have a thinking mind to understand. Your own experience is enough. Why this is wrong, why this is right, to understand. Example, attanang upamang kattva nahanei anagate. He advises us not to destroy other living beings. He did not introduce religious law or commandment. He advised. That is his way of preaching. He advised us not to kill others. Then he says, if it is difficult for you to understand why it is bad, then when another person comes and tries to kill you, how do you feel? That experience is more than enough for you to understand why it is bad. Again he says, you have lost your valuable thing stolen by somebody. How do you feel? When you go and steal others' property, they also get the same feeling that you had. Not necessary to get order from God or Buddha or Jesus or anybody. Your own experience is more than enough for you to know why these things are right, why these things are wrong. Another important point, all the other religions advise their followers to believe something. The Buddha did not ask us to believe anything, but to think and understand. Vast difference, belief and thinking and understanding. So we have thinking mind, we have sense of reasoning, we have common sense. But other living beings, although they have mind, they have no thinking mind. Their minds are limited to find out their food, their lodging, their shelter, their protection. They cannot extend their mind further. But human beings have a mind to think and understand up to the maximum level. Now we can understand up to what extent the scientists have gone in searching many things which we never heard. There is no another living being in this world who can develop the mind up to that extent. That is why only human beings can become a Buddha. By developing and developing and developing this mind, gain the enlightenment. Then we accept what he preach, what he tell us to do or not to do, according to our experience. So there are no belief in Buddhism. Now, topic is what to say if anybody asks, where is the Buddha? Have you got anything to say? Can you say he is in heaven or he is in nirvana, he is in somewhere else? Where did he go? These two questions are wrong. From worldly point of view, we ask these two questions. After gaining enlightenment, Buddha says, Ayamanti majati nattidani punabbhavo. This is my last birth, Ayamanti majati. Nattidani punabbhavo. No more becoming again, no more rebirth again. I have already stopped. Because existence here in this world, life after life, birth and death, birth and death, birth and death continue. Within this period, physically and mentally, enormous sufferings and worries and problems and pains and difficulties and calamities we are experiencing in our mind, physically and mentally. There is nobody in this world who can satisfy with this life. Everybody complain, grumble about physically or mentally. By knowing this situation, I could manage to stop rebirth. That is called salvation. Salvation means freedom from physical and mental suffering. By existing in physical form or any other living beings, we cannot stop our physical and mental suffering. So, if we don't like to suffer, best thing is to stop this. But our craving is so strong, our attachment is so strong in our mind, we are not willing to give up hopes. We want to exist in spite of all sorts of sufferings and troubles and pain and sicknesses and problems. That is our ignorance. Because of our ignorance, we cannot understand our craving is the main cause of all our suffering. Now look at what is happening in this world. Whole world is a battlefield. All over the world, people create violence and bloodshed and war and killing and disturbing. Why? Animals are living without creating all those unnecessary problems and troubles. When they are hungry, they go on catch another living being and get satisfied and go and sleep. But human beings cannot satisfy with that. Craving, attachment is so advanced in our human mind then we develop jealousy and enmity, anger, ill will, cruelty, wickedness develop. In other living beings, they do not develop the mind up to that extent. Religion is not for us to worship and pray and do some offering. They are devotional aspect of religion. We have started. It is important for us, but the Buddha did not advise anybody to come and worship him. When he was about to pass away, so many people assembled with flowers to offer and pay respect, having heard that he is going to pass away. His disciple Ananda stopped. This is not the time to disturb the Buddha. The Buddha overheard. Then asked Ananda, what is happening? He said, there are many people who have assembled to pay their last respect before you passing away. Then the Buddha says, ask them to go back. If they really want to respect the Buddha, instead of offering flowers, instead of worshipping, ask them to practice at least one advice given by the Buddha. Then they really respect the Buddha. Now you can understand what the Buddha wanted. Not for us to pray or worship or do some offering, but to follow some advices given by him. Again, one of the disciples called Bakkula, the monk, every day he come and sit down in front of the Buddha and watch. One day, the Buddha asked, Bakkula, what are you doing here? Then he said, when I look at your physical body, it gives me a lot of happiness. I really experience wonderful happiness. Then the Buddha says, Kinte vakkali imina putikaya duggandena sarire. Vakkali, by watching this dirty, filthy, impermanent physical body, what do you gain? You entertain your emotion. You never gain knowledge, understanding, but entertain your emotion. You cannot see the real Buddha through the physical body. Buddha is not the physical body. Then he said, Yo dhammang passati, so mang passati. One who understood the Dhamma taught by the Buddha, through this Dharma, he can see the real Buddha. Real Buddha appears in the mind when we understood what the Buddha taught. Here you can understand. Buddha was not particular about the physical body. When you study history of India, for nearly 500 years, they never had any Buddha image in India. Because Buddha did not encourage anybody to create, erect images. During the Greek occupation, they are the ones who have introduced images, symbols and all sort of things. Now spreading all over the world different forms of figures as Buddha. Belly Buddha, laughing Buddha, This is our imagination. So, image is not the important thing. Now, Muslims and some others condemn us as idol worshippers. I used to go to Islamic University and I told them, you condemn us saying we are idol worshippers. Actually, Buddhists are not idol worshippers. They do not worship idols. That is a very good parable. 200 years after the Buddha, there was a well-known monk called Upagutta. He is a very popular. When he give talk, thousands of people assemble. You know Mara. In every religion, there is a very strong opponent. Christianity and Islam, Satan. Hinduism, Asura. Buddhism, Mara. Disturbed. So Mara was watching. He was very unhappy because more and more people become religious. What he did, he started to perform very attractive entertainment, dancing, singing, merrymaking in front of the temple. Then the devotees slowly turned toward the other side. There was nobody to come and listen to his talk. Then Upagutta thought, no doubt he disturbed the Buddha, but the Buddha did not teach him a good lesson. I must teach him a good lesson. He also went there. When the performance was finished, he said, yes, we really appreciate your performance. In appreciations of your performance, I would like to put a garland on your neck. Oh, he was very proud. He put a garland. Then he noticed this garland is tightening like pythons in his neck. He tried to pull it out, cannot take it back. Then he went to the Sakra, the king of the god, asked him to help him. He also tried and tried. He said, I am very sorry, I cannot do that. Then he went to Brahma, the creator god at that time, asked him to remove this one. He also tried, could not take it. Then he told him, the one who put this garland is the only one who can take it out. Another one cannot. Then he had to come back. Come back and ask, Venerable Upagutta, please take out this garland from my neck, I am going to die. Then Upagutta said, all right, under two conditions. First thing, you must promise in future you are not going to disturb any religious services. Mara said, yes. Second thing, you have seen the Buddha, because there were many occasions he disturbed the Buddha. You got the supernatural power to transform the physical body and represent as the Buddha. If you promise that you appear as the real Buddha figure, then I will take it out. He said, yes, I can do that. Then he took out. Then Mara said, when I appeared as the Buddha, you should not worship me, because I am not a holy man. Then when Upagutta said, no, I am not going to worship you. Then he appeared as real Buddha. Then he paid respect. Then Mara shouted, you promised that you are not going to worship me. Then Upagutta said, I did not worship you, I worship the Buddha. This is a very good example for you to tell others. When you keep a Buddha image, pay homage, pay respect, take for meditation, but you are not worshipping the idols. You invite the Buddha into your mind through this symbol. It is a symbol and very attractive.
The Wayfarers were a Malaysian Buddhist musical group who created a number of popular songs that are still sung today. They wrote songs in both English and Pali, covering mainly themes from the Buddha's teaching and personal reflection. Let us now listen to a Buddhist song by Wayfarers.
In the pre-science days as far back as 2,500 years ago, Buddha brought light to things we have yet to discover. Scientific truths only now uncovered. To be logical, impartial, rational, and pure.
You too can be a Buddha in your thoughts, words, and deeds. For Buddhahood is ultimate. Buddhahood is enlightenment.
From the reality of boundless space and infinite time continuation, to the great quantum theory of impermanence and constant transformation, from the fetus flowing through dynamic transfiguration, to the mysterious workings of the law of karma and reincarnation, let Buddha nature be your inspiration.
You too can be a Buddha in your thoughts, words, and deeds. For Buddhahood is ultimate. Buddhahood is enlightenment.
A drop of water has 84,000 organisms. The Milky Way has millions of stars and solar systems. This truth, Buddhism showed the way for science to prove and to substantiate. Let Buddha nature be your inspiration.
You too can be a Buddha in your thoughts, words, and deeds. For Buddhahood is ultimate. Buddhahood is enlightenment.
Buddhism answers why, a science still asks what. From science arises convenient devices and modern gadgets. But for question of sufferings, agony, compassion, and life, Buddha's radiance will bring the light.
You too can be a Buddha in your thoughts, words, and deeds. For Buddhahood is ultimate. Buddhahood is enlightenment.
Now it's time for Jataka Tales, which is a large collection of Buddhist morality stories whereby Buddha recounts some of his past lives on his journey towards enlightenment.
ครัสระชาดก ชาดกว่าด้วยบุตรที่มารดาละทิ้งในสมัยพุทธกาลเมื่อครั้งที่พระบรมศาสดาสัมมาสัมพุทธเจ้าประทับอยู่ณพระเชตวันมหาวิหารทรงปรารภอำมาตย์ผู้หนึ่งจึงตรัสพระธรรมเทศนานี้พระเจ้าโกศลผู้ครองเมืองสาวัตถีแคว้นโกศลมีอำมาตย์คู่ใจผู้หนึ่งเป็นที่โปรดปรานของพระองค์เป็นอย่างมากจึงทรงแต่งตั้งเป็นนายอำเภอดูแลปัจจันตคาม
นับตั้งแต่นี้ไปข้าจะขอแต่งตั้งให้เจ้าเป็นนายอำเภอดูแลปัจจันตคามนี้
ขอพระทัยพระเจ้าค่ะ
เมื่ออำมาตย์มาเป็นนายอำเภอปกครองปัจจันตคามแล้วต่อมาเกิดมีใจละโมบจึงเข้าร่วมกับพวกโจรเพื่อปล้นเอาเงินทองของชาวบ้าน
ว่ายังไงล่ะท่านอำมาตย์ท่านจะร่วมมือกับเราหรือเปล่าล่ะเนี่ย
แน่นอนแต่เจ้าต้องแบ่งสมบัติให้ข้าครึ่งหนึ่งตามที่ตกลงกันไว้ล่ะ
อำมาตย์ได้ทำอุบายเรียกชาวบ้านให้มาประชุมกันแล้วพาชาวบ้านเดินทางเข้าป่าเพื่อให้โจรเข้าไปขโมยทรัพย์สินในหมู่บ้าน
พวกเจ้าทั้งหลายวันนี้ข้าจะให้พวกเจ้าช่วยกันหาของป่าไปถวายพระราชาจงตามข้าก็ไปหาของป่าด้วยกัน
เมื่อพาชาวบ้านทั้งหมดเข้าไปในป่าแล้วพวกโจรก็เข้าขโมยของในบ้านเรือนได้ทรัพย์สินไปเป็นจำนวนมาก
ชาวบ้านที่เนี่ยมันน่าโง่จริง
ๆใช่ลูกพี่ดูสิสมบัติมากมายพวกนี้เป็นของเราแล้ว
ข้าชักจะหิวแล้วสิลูกพี่เราจับบัวชาวบ้านมาฆ่ากินกันดีกว่า
เอาสิจัดไปเลยได้ทั้งเงินทองแล้วยังอิ่มท้องเป็นของแถมอีก
ตกเย็นเมื่อชาวบ้านกลับมาจากป่าถึงหมู่บ้านก็พบว่าทรัพย์สินเงินทองของตนถูกขโมยไปเสียแล้ว
โธ่เงินของข้าหายไปหมดเลย
ของข้าก็ไม่เหลือมันเอาไปหมดแล้วข้าจะเอาเงินที่ไหนใช้ล่ะเนี่ย
ท่านนายอำเภอท่านต้องช่วยพวกเรานะพวกเราไม่รู้จะพึ่งใครแล้ว
อย่าห่วงเลยข้ารับปากว่าจะช่วยพวกเราเอาทรัพย์สินเงินทองคืนมาให้ได้
เมื่อไม่มีใครสงสัยต่อมาอำมาตย์นั้นก็ทำอุบายเช่นเดิมอีกหลายครั้ง
อ้าวชาวบ้านทั้งหลายวันนี้เราจะไปหาของป่ากันอีก
คราวนี้จะให้หาอะไรล่ะท่านอำมาตย์
พวกเจ้าไม่ต้องถามมากนะทำตามที่ข้าบอกก็พอเอาไปกันได้แล้ว
ท่านนายอำเภอนี่ช่างน่าสงสัยเราเข้าป่าทีไรกลับมาของหายทุกที
นั่นสิให้เหลือคนไว้เฝ้าบ้านบ้างก็ไม่ยอม
พฤติกรรมของอำมาตย์เป็นที่น่าสงสัยชาวบ้านเริ่มตั้งข้อสงสัยในตัวอำมาตย์และคอยจับตาอยู่ตลอดเวลาจนในไม่ช้าชาวบ้านก็รู้ความจริง
ไหนล่ะส่วนแบ่งของข้า
นี่ไงเราทำธุรกิจร่วมกันมานานข้าไม่โกงท่านหรอก
ชาวบ้านน่าโง่พวกนี้ ข้าหลอกมันก็เชื่อโดยไม่สงสัยเลย
สงสัยสิพวกเราถึงแอบตามท่านมานี่ไง
พวกเจ้าเข้าใจผิดแล้วนี่ข้ามาเพื่อจับโจร
อย่ามาโกหกเลยพวกเราช่วยกันจับท่านอำมาตย์เอาไว้
งั้นพวกข้าเพ่นก่อนดีกว่าเอาไอ้เสือเพ่น
ชาวบ้านนำเรื่องอำมาตย์โกงนี้กราบทูลแก่พระเจ้าโกศลเมื่อทราบเรื่องแล้วจึงทรงรับสั่งให้นำตัวอำมาตย์มาลงโทษแล้วจึงเสด็จไปยังพระเชตวันเพื่อกราบทูลเรื่องนี้แด่พระผู้มีพระภาคเจ้า
ข้าพระองค์ละอายใจเหลือเกินที่ให้อำนาจกับคนชั่ว
ดูก่อนมหาบพิตรมิใช่แต่ในบัดนี้เท่านั้นที่อำมาตย์ผู้นั้นมีปกติประพฤติอย่างนี้แม้ในครั้งก่อนก็ได้มีความประพฤติชั่วมาแล้วเหมือนกันเมื่อตรัสจบแล้วจึงทรงนำเอาเรื่องในอดีตมาสาธกดังนี้ในอดีตการครั้งพระเจ้าพรหมทัตเสวยราชสมบัติอยู่ในกรุงพาราณสี ทรงพระกรุณาพระราชทานปัจจันตคามแก่อมาตย์ผู้หนึ่ง
ข้าขอยกปัจจันตคามนี้ให้เจ้าเป็นผู้ดูแลก็แล้วกัน
ขอพระทัยพระเจ้าค่ะ
เมื่อมาเป็นผู้ใหญ่บ้านแล้วอำมาตย์นั้นก็ร่วมมือกับโจรวางอุบายให้ชาวบ้านเข้าป่าเพื่อให้โจรเข้าไปขโมยทรัพย์สินของชาวบ้าน
เมื่อข้าพาชาวบ้านเข้าป่าแล้วพวกเจ้าจงไปขโมยของในหมู่บ้านแล้วอย่าลืมแบ่งให้ข้าครึ่งหนึ่งด้วยล่ะ
ไม่ต้องห่วงข้าไม่โกงท่านหรอก คราวนี้ได้รวยกันเละแน่
เมื่อชาวบ้านเข้าป่ากันหมดพวกโจรทั้งหลายก็เข้ามาขโมยของตามบ้านเรือนของชาวบ้าน
เอาขนไปให้หมดอย่าให้เหลือแม้แต่แดงเดียว
ชาวบ้านที่นี่โง่นะท่านหัวหน้า
เฮ้ยใครว่าเพราะท่านหัวหน้าของเราฉลาดตั้งหาก
ไม่ต้องยอข้าเขิน
ครั้นพบค่ำชาวบ้านกลับมายังบ้านเรือนของตนก็พบว่าของในบ้านถูกโจรขโมยไปเสียแล้วจึงรวมตัวกันขอความช่วยเหลือจากผู้ใหญ่บ้าน
ผู้ใหญ่บ้านช่วยพวกเราด้วย
พวกเจ้าเอะอะอะไรกัน
ก็พวกโจรน่ะสิมันเอาของที่บ้านของพวกเราไปหมดเลย
แม้แต่วัวควายมันก็ต้อนเอาไปด้วย
พวกเจ้าใจเย็นๆข้ารับปากจะช่วยพวกเจ้าแน่
ผู้ใหญ่บ้านรับปากจะให้ความช่วยเหลือชาวบ้านแต่ก็ไม่ได้ทำอะไรหนำซ้ำยังทำอุบายหลอกให้ชาวบ้านเข้าป่าอีกหลายครั้งซึ่งทุกครั้งโจรก็จะเข้ามาขโมยของชาวบ้าน
แผนของท่านนี่ช่างแยบยลจริง
ๆได้เงินทองมาแล้วอย่าลืมแบ่งมาให้ข้าด้วยล่ะ
เอานี่ส่วนของท่าน
ต่อมาพวกโจรยิ่งหนักข้อขึ้นไม่เพียงขโมยของชาวบ้านเท่านั้นพวกโจรทั้งหลายยังเผาบ้านเรือนฆ่าวัวของชาวบ้านเป็นอาหารและยังต้อนคนไปเป็นเฉลยอีก
ท่านหัวหน้ารอบนี้ได้เงินมาแค่นิดเดียวเอง
จริงหรือน้อยแบบเนี้ยต้องเผาบ้านพวกมันให้วอดจับวัวมาเชือดกินซะถ้าไม่มีเงินก็จับตัวมาเป็นเฉลยซะ
อย่าเผาบ้านข้าเลยจะเอาอะไรก็เอาไปเถิดนะ
ไม่ใช่แค่เผาแต่พวกเราจะเอาเมียเจ้าไปเป็นเฉลยด้วย
ช่วยด้วยช่วยด้วยอย่าเอาข้าไปเลยนะช่วยด้วย
วันหนึ่งมีบัณฑิตผู้หนึ่งได้เดินทางไปพักอยู่ในหมู่บ้านนั้นเขาได้เห็นอำมาตย์ผู้นี้เวลาจะเดินทางไปไหนต้องมีคนตีค้องกรองนำหน้ามีบริวารห้อมล้อมเป็นที่เอิกเกริกใหญ่โต
เวลาใดที่พวกโจรมาปล้นบ้านเผาบ้านเรือนฆ่าโคกินแล้วจับเอาคนไปเป็นเฉลยนั้นเมื่อนั้นบุตรที่มารดาละทิ้งแล้วจึงมาตีกลองเสียงอึกกระทึกโดยแท้จริงอำมาตย์ผู้นี้เองเป็นคนทุจริตเป็นผู้สมคบกับโจร
ทุกครั้งที่โจรปล้นชาวบ้านมีเพียงบ้านของผู้ใหญ่บ้านเท่านั้นที่ไม่ถูกปล้นชาวบ้านที่ยากจนก็ยิ่งจนลงส่วนผู้ใหญ่บ้านกลับยิ่งร่ำรวยผิดปกติ
ดูสิพวกเรายิ่งยากจนลงทุกวันแต่ผู้ใหญ่บ้านกลับร่ำรวยขึ้น
นั่นสิที่รับปากว่าจะช่วยจับโจรก็นิ่งเฉยข้าว่านะผู้ใหญ่บ้านต้องสมคบกับโจรแน่ๆเลย
ข้าก็ว่าอย่างนั้นแหละไม่อย่างที่ไหนชาวบ้านถูกปล้นกันหมดยกเว้นบ้านของผู้ใหญ่บ้านคนเดียว
ต่อมาไม่นานกิตติศัพท์การเป็นคนคดโกงของผู้ใหญ่บ้านนั้นก็เลื่องลือไปจนถึงพระกันของพระเจ้าพรหมทัตพระองค์ทรงโปรดให้ไต่สวนจนทราบความจริงจึงทรงลงพระอาญาอำมาตย์นั้น
เจ้าอำมาตย์ชั่วเราอุตส่าห์ยกปัจจันตคามให้เจ้าดูแลกลับคบคนชั่วมาปล้นบ้านปล้นเมือง
กระหม่อมสำนึกผิดแล้วทรงอภัยให้หม่อมฉันเถิด
ทหารเอามันออกไปลงโทษให้สมกับความผิดที่มันก่อขึ้น
พระศาสดาเมื่อแสดงพระธรรมเทศนาจบแล้วจึงตรัสกับพระเจ้าโกศลดูก่อนมหาบพิตรมิใช่แต่ในบัดนี้เท่านั้นที่อำมาตย์ผู้นั้นมีปกติประพฤติอย่างนี้แม้ในครั้งก่อนก็ได้มีความประพฤติชั่วมาแล้วเหมือนกันครั้นทรงนำพระธรรมเทศนานี้มาแล้วทรงประชุมชาดกว่าอำมาตย์ในครั้งนั้นได้มาเป็นอำมาตย์ในครั้งนี้ส่วนบัณฑิต ได้มาเป็นเราตถาคตชะนี้แหละ
God's words and deeds, for Buddhahood is ultimate. Buddhahood is enlightenment.
Buddhism answers why, a science still asks what. From science arises convenient devices and modern gadgets. But for question of sufferings, agony, compassion, and life, Buddha's radiance will bring the light.
You too can be a Buddha in your thoughts, words, and deeds. For Buddhahood is ultimate. Buddhahood is enlightenment.
That concludes today's program. If you have any questions about the contents of our broadcast, please feel free to reach out to us at info@buddhadharmatv.com. Our dedicated team remains committed to sharing the profound teachings of the Buddha, helping you walk the path of wisdom and enlightenment. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow at the same time. Namo Buddhaya.